Joe, when you have a finish like the other night, or maybe some of the other crunch time situations you've been in, what's the process of going back through that after? Do you just kind of watch it? Do you kind of recreate it in a shoot-around environment? Like, how do you kind of go about, like, just looking back at, what happened on the last couple plays there?
Yeah, I mean, you watch it on film, you go through it and shoot around, you talk about it, and you just work to execute it better the next time.
And Kristaps mentioned this morning in terms of like communication. I don't know if he was referring to like on the court or off the court, but kind of just getting guys to talk a little more, being a little more vocal. Is that something you've kind of noticed or emphasized too? Just kind of, I guess, whether it's on the court or off the court, just kind of talking things out when things do go wrong?
I mean, I think Doc Rivers had a great quote. If you're not talking, you're not playing defense. So I think just the game, because of the reads and how fast it is, it's constantly testing communication. So I don't know how he was talking about that, but I mean, you have to talk, both ends of the floor just to communicate. And so, yeah, we're always talking about how we have to talk more and, understand the reads of the game and communicate coverages like that. Any good team has to be able to communicate. So I'm not sure what he's referring to, but we talk about it.
Joe, in this stretch where you guys have been playing basically 500 basketball, you're top 5 offense, defense,
and
net
defense.
rating. The stats suggest your record should be better than it is.
Mm-hmm.
What do you attribute that to?
I think a few of those, if you take a look at some of what he was saying, like sometimes it could be the clutch numbers. You know what I mean? Like, to me in this league, the difference between winning exponentially more than not is close games, right? And we've lost a couple of those in different ways. And so I think that could be the separating factor between a 5-game win streak or losing 3 out of 5 is how you close out the last 2 minutes of the game. And so that to me is the biggest thing there, and where it could be a separating thing is it comes down to close games. And you see those all the time. The difference between winning and losing is very small. You got to work to fight to get those details. You could have a really good process over the course of a long game or 10 games, but I think closing out games is the difference between sometimes 8 to 10 extra wins in a season.
What's been the problem in the clutch?
I mean, you've seen it a couple of times. We've had some turnovers. We've had some, whether it's poor execution on the offensive end, whether we've had, late game rebounding. I think it's, a few of those things kind of go into that.
Joe, do you have an update on Sam, Al, and Jason for tonight?
I do not yet, no.
Game time?
Yeah.
Joe, with the trade deadline approaching, is that something that you ever talk to guys about? Just like, I don't know if people are feeling anxious about it or people see their names in rumors or things. Like, is that something that you ever acknowledge, or is it just kind of an unspoken thing that like it just happens every year and not to worry about it or kind of be present in the moment?
I mean, I don't really talk to guys about that. It's kind of out of my control. So I don't want to tell them how they want to go about it. But we try to just keep open lines of communication if there's stuff that guys ever want to talk about. But I don't really bring it up.
Joe back here. JD selected to the Rising Stars game. I know he hasn't spent much time with the big club this season, but just what have you seen from him behind the scenes?
To me, he's kind of, similar to what Peyton has done over the course of a few years, where every year he adds something to his game. Whether it's his pick and roll efficiency, whether it's his on-ball defense, his ability to, lead a team and be a point guard. So I just think he continues to kind of grow and add stuff to his game year after year.
So how do you defend when they're trapping Jason? It seems like more teams are picking that up to try to slow him down, turn him to a distributor. And how do you attack that, and what's the right way to do it?
I mean, to me, it's more about just finding 2-on-1s, right? You can do it in different ways. When they're in a blitz, I think, our spacing got a little bit distorted because we were cutting at the wrong time, or, we tried to hit a seam pass and they kicked it. One time we hit a seam pass and, Luke kind of missed Nemi. So it's really just reading the 2-on-1. It's actually easier to see the 2-on-1 on a blitz. You have to just maintain your spacing, make the right, pass versus that, and then, execute out of that, whether it's a shot or a dribble drive. And so, that's just, what it is just seeing that 2-on-1. And it's easier to come against that than it is switching. And so we just have to work through it.
So you invite that?
Yeah. I mean, it's especially, with the guys that we have and when they're doing it. And so, it gives us the 2-on-1 right away. So we just got to execute it.